Hello and welcome to Sidetracked Talk Show. Tonight's guest, Rebekah Damaris Bordeaux.
Hey, Ross.
Hey, nice to meet you. I mean, I've met you before, but anyway, it's really fun. We're going to do an Earth Day episode tonight, yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Earth Day, 2015 this year it is. We actually are filming this episode, today is March 21st, actually, so it's been a month ago since we recorded this, but it's in celebration of Earth Day. And this is actually the second day after spring, and it was a beautiful day today, right? It's 70 degrees.
It was glorious. It was so amazing. Much needed after a long winter.
Yeah, for sure. So this is great having you on the show. Thanks again, so much for coming on here. I just reached out through social media and we got our guest on the 14th episode of Sidetracked, Rebekah. Awesome, really. Thanks again for being on here. So first of all, I think to acclimate the audience to who you are, I wanted to ask you just some questions so that they could get to know you. If you don't know who Rebekah is, how long have you lived in Floyd County?
I moved to Floyd County with my family. I have 5 siblings with my 2 parents from North Carolina. We moved here in January of '99. So however many years that's been. I'm here now.
So it's been over a decade since you've been living here, and so what brought you to Floyd County?
So it was the whole Y2K scare, essentially. I grew up kind of going to church and kind of had a little religious family, and my mom was on the internet and she found this community that was looking to form because they believed that Y2K was going to wipe out all the computers, and decided that it would be really nice to be together in a piece of land and to build an intentional community. So essentially, when everything went to it fell apart, they would have a sustainable community. That was the intention of it originally. It was a little place called Rivendell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Y2K is it's a funny thing that you should mention because when I was a kid at the time, I was thinking something might happen. With obviously
Right.
We're glad nothing that happened with Y2K. The world didn't end. 2012, the world didn't end. We're still here, and it's a great thing because we get to celebrate the Earth on this episode of Sidetracked. That's awesome. So we're glad that Y2K didn't happen and that now you're here part of the Floyd community. I'm from Floyd County, and I've lived here my whole life, and regardless of what brought you Y2K or it's cool to we went to school together and we took a lot of art classes together. I feel like, right? You took a lot of art, pottery, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough of it. Had some great teachers up there, and yeah, it's really, really good to be here and be integrated into the Floyd community. I mean, it was a little bit strange when I first came up. The whole community was really bizarre, but it fell apart after Y2K didn't happen, and our family decided that being a part of that community wasn't in alignment with our truth. So then as those connections fell apart, we found this beautiful, thriving community here in Floyd County and began to integrate into that, and I'm so eternally grateful. It's you never know even if it's strange how you get to the places, because that was difficult, the whole community thing, but it brought me here, and so I'm forever grateful for every single step of it. And I'm just happy to be in such a beautiful, thriving town and part of the world.
That's awesome. And that's what we're all about on tonight's episode of Sidetracked the World Earth for Earth Day. So, more about the Earth and how we as a people can help improve the world here in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, more about the Earth.
All right.
Okay, we're back, and here's some. We made a list of things that everybody can, do and like be a part of to help improve the Earth. But first, before we get into that, just a little bit of open discussion about, why is the Earth important? Rebekah, why don't you fill us in on why do you think the Earth is important? Why should anyone care?
Right. Well, that's a big question. I think it is important that we do care. It's like, it reminds me of that Dr. Seuss quote. It's like, if people like you don't start caring a whole lot, things are not going to better. It's just simply not, or something like that. And it's true, I mean, we're here on this planet, right, at this moment in time. For whatever reason, there's a lot of debate about how we got here, why we're here, but really, I think what's most important is that we are here, now, and to be present in our situation. And so, yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, we're here on this, like, so... I mean, it's just like, it seems to be such like an obvious question. It's like, why should we care about the planet? It's like, because we're here and we're on this planet and it's giving us life. It's enabling us to have a human experience.
There you go. For whatever reason, we're just here,
whatever reason.
Who knows exactly how long the Earth has been around. People say it's been around billions of years. It could have been around 2 weeks ago. I don't know. But
what is time, right?
Right. So the fact is, and what you're saying is that regardless of what put us here, why we're here now, and while we're here, we need to take care of the Earth because it's where we live. That's
right.
Pretty much it. If we let the Earth go to waste, or if we do things that aren't beneficial for the world equals our home, thus our own well-being is compromised, and everybody wants to. I would think people are trying to strive for a better life, a more positive life, and a healthier life, and to have as much positive, good things come from life. And the only way to do that is to take care of ourselves, take care of the planet. All right?
I mean, yeah, that seems pretty simple and to the point.
Yeah. So, this is why we have a list of things that everybody can take part of to help ensure that the world is not going to squalor, for lack of a better word, I guess.
Good word.
And we're just going to go... let's see. Oh, you've got yours, okay.
I think this one is yours.
Oh, is it? Okay. Here's your note card thing. So, and these are in no particular order. These are just, good things that everybody should know about.
Yeah, they're suggestions, just like if you're wondering, what can I do? Because that's a lot of things is like people just feel helpless. They look around and they see the state of the world, and it's a little bit disheveled right now. It's there's a lot of misuse of the planet, a lot of war going on, and it's like I think a lot of people can feel helpless and powerless, and so there's just a couple of suggestions of if you're wondering, if you're looking for them.
So we're just gonna get right into it. First off, number 10, recycling and composting. That's pretty straightforward. If you live in a city that does offer recycling on your block, like they put out recycling bins, please recycle. Not everywhere offers convenient recycling. So, but if you do live in a place that does, by all means, take advantage of it. Throw away plastic bottles in the recycling bins, and recycle your cardboard and paper. A lot of that stuff accumulates, and it can all be recycled. So there's no really reason not to. So,
yeah,
would you agree with
absolutely.
that?
I would absolutely agree with that. It's good to put the things in their proper place.
And what's number 9?
Yeah, well, that kind of leads into number 9, which is don't litter. just don't litter. Like take the couple steps that it takes and just put things away. I saw this picture on Facebook, and it was so sad. It was this little turtle, and he had one of those like soda rings that holds like together the cans, I guess. And it was growing around its shell, and it had gotten stuck in it, and then as it had grown and developed, it had like turned into an 8 instead of like the normal, rounded shell, like,
Oh, wow.
oval, because somebody, some unconscious human being decided not to put that, to throw that away, and so now little animals are suffering for it. So yeah, just make that effort, and don't be trashy.
Don't be trashy, that's right. Above recycling, just don't throw trash out of your car, or just, if there's leave your trash in your car and take it to a trash can. If it's not something that can be recycled and it's just straight up trash, don't be trashy.
Don't be trashy.
All right, and then point number 8 is protecting the bees, and not putting pesticides on, flowers and stuff, because bees make honey, and bees are getting these poisonous pesticides, and it's killing the bees. It's not good for the whole ecosystem at all.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. I think that bees are crucial to the survival of our planet. They play an important role in pollinating our food, and if we don't have, the pollinators, then pretty much we're eating potatoes and grains. And, so I think that it's very important, because when they go around and they're, collecting the pesticides and stuff, it's just like weakening their genetic structure, because it's poison, So just like having a clean environment so that the bees can go and, gather sweet, pure nectar, and do its part in the planet, because it's doing so much. They play such a vital role here in this participatory existence.
Exactly, which leads me into the next point. Respect wildlife and nature, and understand your connection with wildlife and nature in general. Protect the bees. Bees are getting pesticides and poisons, and animals and stuff, like just like zoos, for example, are I used to love zoos as a child. Now that I'm an adult, I see that lots of animals don't have the proper space or care, veterinary care. If you can't see, if you want to see that animal, watch a National Geographic show on it, or just come across one in the wild. Is kind of how I feel at this age, because I come to find that a lot of zoos that I liked as a child aren't really up to code, or
Not very humane.
Yeah, they're not adequate for creatures. We're, as human beings, know better than any other life form, so we shouldn't be arrogant and think that we can control nature like that and just put it on display, I guess.
Yeah. Truth. We do, and that's, people don't even understand, like, the nature and the wildlife, and it's important to understand our connection to that and to the animals, and we're all here and we're in it together, and so it's good to honor honor every creature because they are conscious beings as well.
Exactly.
And it doesn't feel good to be in a cage, does it?
No. We're free, and I saw a vulture in the zoo, and it was in like a small enclosure, and the size of the animal, it looked like if it was free, it would be like soaring in the sky and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's only got a few feet to, get around. And that brings us to the next point on the list, which is what is that?
Yeah. We should stop stripping the earth of its natural resources. I'm personally highly fructose intolerant. And so it's just, we're just going in and we're taking out these oils and all of these different things that the earth needs to replenish itself. And so I personally believe that there are multiple other options. There are definitely other options that are much more sustainable, because it takes a while for the earth to replenish it. And it's, it's great. Like, ultimately, the earth is going to be fine, if we mess it up too much. It's probably just going to shake us off like a bunch of fleas, But, yeah, I think that just finding different energy alternatives, which totally exist, is just about enough people educating themselves on that and then speaking up and saying, hey, this is what we want, and we want some kind of clean energy, and just like having our voices heard is really important. And because it's like, it's not necessary what we're doing right now, but it's making people a lot of money, and so it continues to go on. So yeah, I think that just educating ourselves to the different options and then building our collective voice, and saying that we choose something different and we understand that we have a choice in that.
So no fracking, and that brings us to number 5 here, which is food quality and no GMOs, no monocultures and permacultures. Why don't you explain what that means?
Yeah, so basically, a lot of people in our society today, it seems, don't understand that we eat for nutrition. They think, oh, okay, I'm empty now. Let's fill up on whatever, Cheetos, Doritos, Taco Bell, whatever, But yeah, they might be filling themselves up, but there's really no nutritional value in those foods, and so our bodies aren't getting what they really need. And so I think understanding that is really important, and then like cultivating food options where the food is full of its proper nutrients. And so things like monoculture, which just goes in and just depletes the soil, even though you may be growing like a lot of corn or this, it's like, if it doesn't have nutrients in the soil, it's just like an empty shell. So I think understanding that and educating ourselves on that, I think a lot of people don't even know what genetic modification is. So educate yourself on that, because it's weird, but like jellyfish DNA in food, it's very bizarre and unnatural. So yeah, but the thing is like, we don't need to do those things. Like, if the earth works so well, so if you just provide an environment, just like things like permaculture or biodynamic farming and organic farming, it finds a way of working with the earth and seeing what it needs, and then giving that to the earth so that it can have the proper nutrients, and then the food that you grow in that soil can then absorb those proper nutrients, and then that can go into our body and nourish our bodies. So I think that food quality is vitally important to our planet and to us as a species.
Food quality, eating natural foods and not genetically modified foods, which puts me into the next point. Love yourself and honor, your body. What you put into your body matters. That's what we were kind of just talking about with the food, or with anything like drugs and alcohol. Like a little party's okay, but I mean, like, heroin or, like, heavy drugs that you, like, don't want to,
Or excessive indulgence.
excessive indulgence, that's the word for it, you know. Just to be a little bit more conscious of what we're putting into our bodies, and then, you know, such as water, which is the next point.
Yeah, protecting clean water is really, really a good one. It's really important because, you know, we're 70 some percent water, and it's, you know, we're constantly taking it in and then we're sweating it back out, you know. So, and this water, it's going in and it's hydrating our cells, you know. So if we're consuming water that has poisonous things, you know, fluoride, chloride, you know, medication that's been flushed down the toilet or whatever, then that's going in and it's like it's weakening our cellular structure, you know. Ultimately, I mean, I moved to Southern California for a while, and the water quality was really atrocious. You know, I went and I got a haircut, and so all my split ends were gone, and I went and I took a shower, and they split just as bad as if I hadn't even gotten a haircut. But I could, like, get a haircut here where I live and then go, you know, a year without my ends, like, splitting like that. So it's like, oh my goodness, if it does that to my hair, like, what is that doing to the inside of my body? So yeah, it's really, really important to have clean water because that's affecting our structure, our makeup, you know, and that perfects our energetic performance, you know?
Yeah, and speaking of energetic performance, our emotional, positive vibes that we put out into the world, you know, what we're putting into our body, what we're putting out into the world emotionally, like, you know, putting forth positive vibes is way better for everything than to put out negativity out into the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as like I was saying to you earlier, you know, it's when you walk into a room and somebody's in a bad mood, you can feel it, you know. At least I can. You know, I think a lot of people would agree they can feel it. So the energy that we're feeling, it does ripple out. So I think that it's important to do the best that we can to align ourselves with positive vibrations. And, you know, it's like really cool too because we do that by doing things that make us happy, you know. And so then we're living a more joyous life, and then, you know, we're going to be more abundant, and, you know, we're going to thrive, and, you know, that's just we're going to be able to be more loving and more kind too, you know, when we're like aligning ourselves with, you know, gratitude and appreciation and, you know, just all kinds of things that generate that, you know, because it does, it ripples out into the field, and it's like there's the Dr. Emoto experiments that show how our intentions have an impact on water. I think about the fact that we are mostly water. So when you're speaking, you know, negative things, it goes out and it ripples, and it does, like, I don't know, you'll have to watch that video. It's Dr. Emoto's water experiments. But basically, it just, like, the water, when you speak ill intentions to it and then you freeze it under a microscope, it's like really feeble structures, and it's like can't really bond together. But then if you take the water and you speak positive emotions into it, and then you freeze it under, you know, the microscope, it just creates these beautiful, stable, geometric structures, you know. And so I just think about how our words and our thoughts really do affect the matter around us. And science is proving this more and more. And all these, like, ancient religions and scriptures that we find are saying the same thing, you know. So we can be unified in that and understand, okay, we do make an impact. We do. So I just think that aligning ourselves with the frequency of good medicine is really important, because, you know, we feed that out into our environment, and then that will, you know, make things grow, you know, like our, yeah.
And I'll definitely put links in the bottom of the description of this video to the experiments that she's talking about, because it is pretty crazy. And if you want to check those out, I'll put the links in the description, like I said. And the positive vibes that you put forth, and it brings us to our last point here, that we need to be conscious creators. What we do to the earth affects it, and we as beings can consciously choose to litter or pick up a piece of trash, and we have the cognitive ability to change the world for the better, to put out positive vibes, and to help wildlife, and just pretty much sums up all of the points that we've talked about.
Yeah, it's important to take responsibility because, like I was saying earlier, a lot of people, they look around and they see the state of the world and they just feel helpless. I felt that way. Definitely, I wallowed in that for a little while. But just understanding that one person really can make a difference in this world. I mean, Nikola Tesla said that, and he's a pretty smart guy, and so I think it's really important to understand that we're creating our own reality here, and that we're doing it together, and so it's important to understand that we can take responsibility, and that if we don't like the way that things are, or if we don't feel like things are serving us, that we have a choice, and that we can choose better than we have before, and we don't have to wallow in our past choices because our past does not define us. Every moment is fresh and new and crisp. So I think it's important to understand that, and if you see a Coca-Cola can in the road, or in your path where you're walking, just pick it up. Throw it away, put it in its proper place. You know what I mean? It's small little actions like that really do make a difference. And I think that that's just really important, is understanding that we can birth a new earth that is built on love and understanding and compassion, and the thing is I feel like that's our natural state of existence, is to be a loving human being. I just think that when we have that feeling of being caged, it's this primal instincts comes out. And I think that a lot of times in our society, it's it can feel like a cage, you're being told, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and then there's all these social conditionings that get pushed upon us, and it's why won't you just let me be? I just want to be, and when I be, I'm happy, ultimately. When I just do the things that I want to do, and I don't worry about judgment, or I don't judge myself, and I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it flow. And when I do that, I realize that my intentions are really good, and they are aligned with nurturing this planet and nurturing the world around me. So I think that that's really vitally important, is understanding that, we're conscious creators, and we have the ability to build things up, and we have the ability to tear things down. Just constantly, checking ourselves if we feel like we need to ask ourselves, are we being loving right now? Are we building? Are we nurturing this? Or are we, contributing to, a more destructive vibration,
Yeah.
So just be a good human is essentially, I feel like, what it comes down to, and understanding that it's important to be the change. It's cliche as that sounds, it's true. It's really, really true.
Yeah.
So be the change that you want to see, and understanding that when you make good choices, you're setting an example. Because a lot of times I worry oh my God, all these people, they're just out here doing all this stupid stuff. You know? And, you know, I gotta, like, what can I do about this? And ultimately, I can't do anything about those people, you know, but I can check myself and be like, okay, these people aren't understanding, they're not listening, they're not doing that. But then I have to come back and be like, okay, I'm connected to this whole. And so when I center myself, like, everything becomes more stable around me, you know? So coming back to myself and saying, okay, am I being understanding? Am I being conscious? Am I lucid right now in this, you know, waking reality? You know?
Yeah, very well said. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
I like that.
Well, it's, you know, thanks again so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And before we get out, it's getting kind of late, but we're going to plant a flower and show that to you guys to help actively improve our world for the Earth Day episode of Sidetracked. So thanks again so much for coming on the show, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will show you the flower that we are going to plant somewhere.
It's a pansy.
A pansy. A little pansy.
A little pansy.
All right, so stay tuned, and we will be right back. That's about it for this episode of Sidetracked. I'd like to thank my guest, Rebekah. Awesome having you on.
Thank you, Ross. It was a pleasure being here with you today.
And please remember to like and subscribe to the video and share the video to raise awareness for the Earth. And that's about all the time we have for this episode. Mm-hmm. So we'll see you next time on Sidetracked Talk Show.
Love you, Mama Earth.